Nancy Pelosi said on Thursday that Democratic Congressman John Conyers should resign in the wake of multiple allegations of sexual harassment by women. Pelosi, the House Minority Leader, said during a press conference on Capitol Hill that the allegations against her fellow Democrat were serious, disappointing and very credible. The House Minority Leader on Sunday defended Conyers, who has served in Congress since 1964. Pelosi said, "It is very sad. The brave women who came forward are owed justice. I pray for Congressman Conyers and his family and wish them well." However, Congressman Conyers should resign. Moments later, the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, agreed with Pelosi and called on Conyers to resign immediately. Conyers, who vigorously denies the allegations against him, has no intention of stepping down, said Arnold Reed, Conyers' lawyer, during a combative press conference in which he attacked Pelosi for not being a strong enough advocate for women. "She sure as hell won't be the one to tell the congressman to leave," Reed said outside the Conyers family home. The congressman, who is 88, was hospitalized overnight for issues related to stress, Reed said. Conyers was taken to the hospital in Detroit after experiencing shortness of breath and dizziness. Conyers announced on Sunday he would step aside as the top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, less than a week after a BuzzFeed investigation disclosed he paid a former employee a $27,000 settlement as part of a confidentiality agreement. That woman publicly identified herself on Thursday as Marion Brown, a former staffer who had worked for the congressman for 11 years. During that time, she said Conyers violated her body and frequently propositioned her for sex. On one occasion, she said he stood before her in his underwear and asked her to touch his genitals. "It was sexual harassment, violating my body, propositioning me, inviting me to hotels with the guise of discussing business and propositioning for sex," Brown said. "He just violated my body. He's touched me in different ways. It was very uncomfortable and very unprofessional." Brown signed a non-disclosure agreement as part of the 2015 settlement but said Conyers' vehement denial of the allegations had prompted her to come forward. "I'm here to say that I am not a liar," she said. "I felt it was worth the risk to stand up for all the women in the workforce that are voiceless." The settlement illuminated the lack of accountability when U.S. lawmakers are accused of misconduct or inappropriate behavior and has prompted calls to change the complex complaint process, which currently requires accusers be subject to mandatory counseling and mediation. Nancy Pelosi on Capitol Hill on Thursday. Photograph Joshua Roberts. Reuters on Wednesday, the House approved legislation that would require lawmakers to undergo mandatory training as a first step in addressing the issue. During the press conference, Reed questioned Pelosi's motivation in calling for Conyers' resignation and accused her of a double standard. Nancy Pelosi is going to have to explain what is the discernible difference between Al Franken and John Conyers, he said. Al Franken, a Democratic senator from Minnesota, is facing mounting allegations of sexual misconduct as two more women stepped forward on Thursday to accuse him of unwanted sexual advances. The controversies on Capitol Hill came amid a wave of sexual assault allegations against powerful men in media, politics, Hollywood and Silicon Valley. Another former staffer, Deanna Marr, told the Detroit News that Conyers made an unwanted sexual advance toward her and touched her inappropriately twice in the late 1990s. Pelosi called on the House Ethics Committee to launch an investigation as soon as the allegations arose, but she came under fire this week for failing to criticize Conyers, whom she called an icon of the civil rights movement. In a Sunday interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Pelosi said she trusted Conyers to make the right decision after the conclusion of the ethics investigation. "John Conyers is an icon in our country," she said. "He has done a great deal to protect women, the Violence Against Women Act, which the right wing is now quoting me as praising him for his work on that, and he did great work on that. But the fact is, as John reviews his case, which he knows, which I don't, I believe he will do the right thing." Later in the same interview, Pelosi returns to the idea that the details of Conyers' accusers are vague. "Do you believe John Conyers' accusers?" host Chuck Todd asked. "I don't know who they are." Pelosi replied, "Do you? They have not really come forward." The next day, Pelosi met one of Conyers' accusers, Melanie Sloney, who told The Washington Post that the congressman harassed and verbally abused her when she worked for him on Capitol Hill in the 1990s. Pelosi subsequently issued a statement in which she said, "I believe what Ms. Sloan has told